Hello class, welcome to another learning session. Today we'll be discussing the topic mechanization. What is mechanization? Farm mechanization is the application of engineering principles and technology in agricultural production, storage and processing on the farm. In another definition, we have it that agricultural mechanization is also defined as the application of engineering, scientific, and technological principles in the application of labor-saving and productivity-increasing devices in processing, storage, etc. Now, I'll explain this point. When we talk about scientific principles, we refer to the things, the improvements scientists has contributed to agriculture. Scientists in the sense that we have the crop scientists, the biologists, and the rest. Examples of these improvements include our fertilizer, our herbicide, and the rest. Now, when it comes to engineering principles, we're talking about the improvements, the things in which engineers have done to help agriculture. We have the electrical engineers, the mechanical engineers, and their contribution to agriculture has been in the sense of what? Producing machines. Like what? We have the tractor and the shellers. Now, when we come to technological principles, we refer to what? Improved methods of farming. These have been brought about by what? The technologies, the people on the field, the people carrying out the actual work. So they are the ones that taught us things like what? We have mixed cropping, we have block farming, and the rest. They are the ones on the field and they experiment new things. And when they find out that, okay, this can actually be a better way to do this thing, they bring the information to us. So now we've understood how engineering and scientists and the whole technological principle that came up in our definition has contributed to agriculture. Now let's go to the advantages of mechanization. We have number one, it saves labor. Nowadays, most human efforts are substituted with machines to carry out large piece of work. The labor saved can be used elsewhere. Now, the energy you would use to farm, to till your soil, if you use your tractor to till your soil, you can use that energy somewhere else, like to take care of your family, to do something else. Probably use your brain to think of any other investments you want to do. That's one advantage. We have increased area and number of livestock. Now, mechanization increases the area of land under cultivation and animals that can be reared per head. As an individual now, there's a limit to how much you can do if you have to do all the work by yourself. But when your farm is mechanized, let's say you have a poultry farm and it's well mechanized, that can increase the number of birds you can take care of. Yes, all you have to do is just to go for supervision and the rest. But then if you are the one changing their feed, changing their water, cleaning the house, everything is manual labor. You know that the number of birds you can handle would be greatly reduced. Now we say number three, it increase farm revenue. Increased area of production usually leads to high productivity and yield, and hence increased revenue for the farmer. That's true. Now, if you cultivate 1 hectare of land, the money you would realize from that 1 hectare of land would be nothing compared to if you cultivate 10 hectares of land. So the more land area you cultivate, the more money you make, and your chances of making more profits is what's increased. Now, number four, we have that increased output. It makes it possible for farmers to have an increase in output or production. Simple. If you cultivate 1 hectare of land, what you get at the end of the day, what you harvest at the end of the day would definitely be less than what you get if you cultivate 10 hectares of land. Now we have timeliness of operation. Mechanization ensures that all farm operations are carried out and completed within a short period of time. So you can't compare human speed to what machine speed. So if time factor is an important thing in whatever project you are carrying out, you should look towards what using what machines. Now, when I talk about machines, don't rule out other aspects of mechanization. Now, when it comes to timeliness of operation, if you are looking out to weed your farm within a shorter period of time, you should also consider what herbicide instead of what manual labor. Because using your hoe to weed would definitely take a longer time, especially if the land is on a large area. So now it will take a longer time for you to decide to use your hoe to weed that piece of land manually compared to when you just use your herbicide and you spray everything off. You get your results as soon as you need it. For everything that has an advantage, there is a disadvantage. Now, disadvantages of mechanization. Number one, high cost. Farm machines are expensive to purchase and therefore above the income of plenty farmers, especially peasant farmers. Now, if you're in my location, Nigeria, where most people that practice agriculture practice it on a very, let's say, careful scale. Yes, if they are to sell it off, they just go a little bit above what they need for their personal consumption. Now you don't expect such a farmer to have money to buy tractor and the rest. It's not really attainable. So you need to have a level of capital to be able to do what go into what mechanization. Number two, unemployment. Mechanization displaces unskilled workers who lack skills to switch to other sectors, thereby rendering them unemployed. Yes, I laid emphasis on unskilled laborers because when it comes to skilled laborers like the scientists, for example, the engineers and the rest, they are the ones producing these machines and these chemicals and the rest we need. So there is no way they'll be out of their jobs. Because no matter the number of machines available at the moment, we still need more skilled workers to still keep producing more of these machines and these chemicals and the rest for us to use, right? But then when it comes to the unskilled laborers, they can be easily displaced in the sense that when you want to weed, you walk into a shop, you buy your herbicide, they'll teach you how to use it, the mixture, the water to chemical ratio and the rest. You go into your farm, you spray it. A lot of people who would have handled that manually using their hoe have been rendered what unemployed. And now these people don't have the skills to say, okay, since manual labor of using hoe is no more paying me, let me go get a job. They lack that skill. So when we rely so much on mechanization, unskilled workers will do what? Suffer. Now we have it causes environmental pollution. Smokes from machines released during operation pollute the air and some gases. And this contributes towards climate change, that's global warming. Chemicals and fertilizer usage contribute to environmental pollution. Now, number four, we have inadequate technical know-how. Mechanization demands highly trained, skilled personnel on the use and handling of the farm machines and equipment. Now, if you employ someone, probably you want to cut corners, you don't want to spend much. A professional said, okay, if I'm to do this job, this is the amount I'm going to accept. And you now feel that, I'm smart, I'm not going to pay that. You go and get someone else to do it, and the person is not really grounded in this knowledge. At the end of the day, you risk your machines getting spoiled. Harvesting losses. Mechanized harvesting increases harvesting loss due to damages to produce. Now, when you use your machines to harvest, number one, you should know your machine don't have the intelligence humans have. If you set your machine to read to harvest a certain portion, okay, let's say the size of this my lesson book now, the machine just goes in and what it harvests everything on its way like that. Matured, not matured, ripe, not ripe, and the rest. It harvests everything you've programmed it to do, or that portion you've programmed it to what harvest is going to work on that place, and it's bringing in everything for you. Now, another thing is when you use your machines to harvest, your machine will just go into that place, working, harvesting, doing the harvest for you. At the end of the day, it's going to, will I say, slice off some of your produce, especially tubers, your yam. That's when you see yam coming out like this into halves, into trees, because the machine is just going like all what the machine is concerned with doing is just to make sure that, okay, you've asked me to harvest this portion for you, I'm harvesting it for you. The machine cannot use its intelligence to say, oh, let me be careful. There might be a yam here, so let me dig carefully so I don't injure my yam. And now when you go to the market with what damaged produce, it reduces your chances of selling at a high price. Yes, because people will leverage on that advantage to tell you, see, your tuber is not full now, it's half, it's quarter, and the rest. So you really don't want that, because now the aim of using your machines, now you've paid so much, right, to hire this thing. Now when it now harvests for you, or it harvests produce that are not fully matured or ready for harvest, how do you sell that? You can't sell it, you can't consume it. So at the end of the day, you are just going to have to what, trash it, and that leads to what, a whole lot of loss. Now we have problems of agricultural mechanization. What are the things that can hinder agricultural mechanization, especially in Nigeria? Number one, we have land tenure system. If you don't know what that is, keep watching my channel. I'm going to do a learning section on what land tenure system. Mechanization becomes impracticable and uneconomical on small parcels of land. That's true. Now you say you want to hire a tractor now to weed for you or to plow your land so you can cultivate. It's best to do that when you have a large piece of land, because in my location, farm machines are hired on a daily basis, not based on your land mass. So now if you hire a tractor for a day, and at the end of the day you are just cultivating a piece of land like this, whether you use the tractor for 1 minute or you use it for 1 hour, it's the same amount you and somebody that has a piece of land like this and they use the tractor for a day, probably they used it for 23 hours, the same amount, that's what you are going to pay. That's how farm machines are that's how farm machines are rented out in my location, Nigeria, especially in the rural areas of Nigeria where I live. Another one is scattered farm holdings. Now you see people, especially if you live in the rural area of Nigeria, you see people, they don't want to buy a piece of land basically for what? Farming. So what they do is, okay, any empty piece of land they have, they just approach the owner and speak to the owner that, okay, please, you don't want to build, can I just farm here? So now they have a piece of land here, and the owners agreed, okay, you can plant your maize here. They plant maize here. Before you know, they cite another piece of land that is vacant, and they approach the owner, and that one is located here, and they decide to plant beans there, and they have another piece of land that they approach the owner somewhere else, just a pinch here, a pinch there, a pinch there. You can't use mechanization for such land, especially when it comes to farm machines, because number one, you're going to have issues with whoever is going to operate that machine. Yes, whoever is going to carry out that farm operation, because you cannot have an agreement with me showing me this as your piece of land that I would work on, and at the end of the day, you're not telling me, drive forward a bit now, I have another one here. They are telling me drive forward a bit now, I have another one there. It's not going to work that way. And eventually, if you decide to insist, they might end up charging you based on what your farm plots, which would make you do what? Lose a lot of money. Now we have topographic and edaphic factors. Areas that have rough topography with obstacles can hinder the use of machines. The use of machines on some soils may lead to what? Land degradation. That's true. There are places that are not motorable. All these very remote and interior areas, it's best to do what? Just go in with your manual labor. The highest you can do is to use improved farming methods like your mixed cropping, use chemicals, your herbicide, your fertilizer, and the rest. But for machines, is not really advisable, because just imagine working with a tractor on a very steep slope. You risk your tractor losing its grip or friction on the floor and what? Sliding off, and it's not really worth the risk. Number four, we have inadequate spare parts, especially in my country, Nigeria. Availability of genuine spare parts is a major problem because most machines and equipment are imported to Nigeria. So, as a Nigerian planning to go into the business of, okay, say, owning farm machines so you can rent it out, this would always be a big problem to you, because the moment wear and tear take its course, or naturally things wear off with age, and you now decide to change them, change the parts that are faulty, there's always a high percentage that the spare parts you are getting are not genuine. Number five is poverty of farmers. Most farmers are poor and cannot afford huge capital for mechanization. So most people, when they want to farm, they are farming because they want to make enough food available for their families to consume. They don't have enough money to say, okay, there's spare money, let me go to rent tractors, let me go and buy chemicals. They don't have that money. So what they do is they rely on their own strength. They weed manually, land preparation manual, harvesting manual, so they can just get enough food for what? Their family consumption. And if there's any excess in which they feel might go bad because they lack the storage facilities to keep them fresh and safe, they might just decide to sell it off. So it's better they get a little profit from the little they will sell out than to use that money now into what? Buying of chemicals and renting of machines. We've come to the end of today's learning session. I hope you grabbed enough knowledge from this Drop your questions in the comment section if you have any, and I'll be there to respond to them. Now, welcome to my channel. If you are coming across my video for the first time, welcome. Kindly subscribe on this channel. I teach agriculture, I teach fashion tips, and I teach about lifestyle. So there's a lot of value you gain. Kindly subscribe, like my videos, and share so someone else can learn. Until next time, I'll say thanks for checking up on me. If you like my hairstyle and you want to learn how to do it yourself, just click on the link below, and it will take you directly to the DIY video I made. Thanks for keeping a date with me. Until next time, I say goodbye.